This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP Network.
Hello foodie friends, and welcome to episode 28 of the Taste of Universal podcast. I'm Tracy, and joining me today are my co-hosts Kayla, Kelly and Shelby. But we're also digging into a topic that requires some less restricted culinary palates. Let's face it, we just wanted to hang out with them. So I'd like to welcome onto our show Ben and Aubree Fudge from the Fudge Factor YouTube channel. Hello everyone!
Hi.
Hi. Hi, guys.
How are you?
Yeah, good. We're doing well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It was a great morning over at the parks today. Islands was exceptionally packed with the spring breakers, but studios wasn't too bad this morning.
No, studios was beautiful. It's a beautiful season out right now. Not too hot and not no humidity, but way less than summertime coming up.
Always a plus.
Yep. I was there just last weekend. I've been a lot recently. We'll get to that at some point, but I live in St. Louis, and so I was like, oh, it'll be so warm in Orlando, even though I know I've been doing this long enough to know that I shouldn't assume any kind of weather in Orlando, but it was delightful while I was there. And then I came back here, and yesterday it was 94 degrees, and then this morning I woke up and it was 32. So,
whoa,
we're doing all
the ranges.
All 4 seasons in one day right now, and it makes me miss Orlando weather, which is not a sentence that I say super often.
Yeah. Wow, that's a big jump in temperature.
Yeah, that's not normal. That's not right.
No. So we're just one big happy family here. Ben and Aubree are part of it, and what have we all been up to in the last few days, the last couple of weeks? Let's have a quick chit chat about everything.
Oh, interesting. What I was actually in Dallas, Texas over the past week. I work for a nutrition and personal training company, and we were out doing our, call it mastermind, if you will, kind of coming up with ways to increase member engagement, member value. We're also doing a kind of fun photo shoot for social media that Aubree gets to use.
Oh, Ben took shirtless photos. That's what he did this last week.
Oh,
I stayed home, took care of the dogs. We've been doing a lot of Universal recording. Recently, we just went and recorded a video because we've now officially have lived in Orlando area for a year for just lots of changes for us. But overall, been doing a lot of exploring, branching out to different theme parks as well, but always come back to the tried and true Universal.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Sorry. Yeah. What about the rest of you? What have you been up to?
If my voice sounds funny, I'm getting over being ill from the also changing weather that Kelly experienced, though not as bad, but still bad enough to a ton of people I know are sick with some version of a cold, flu, whatever. I went to Orlando, visited Mardi Gras, got to see Kelly and Shelby, and It was very fun, very hectic. We were there, Kelly and I were there primarily for a wedding, so a lot of that fun stuff going on, but then did get some park time, and we'll talk more about Mardi Gras and food, but the major update was that Cameron rode E.T.
And how did you like it?
He was a little scared. I don't think he really understood it at all. I think he's too little.
No, I think he understood it
enough.
If he was scared, I think he understood enough. I will happily I'll sit outside with him because you all know how I feel about E.T. So
he just the video's he's just shocked. I feel like he's like, what? And then we were in it twice, and both times we paused at the very end. And I didn't realize how dark it gets in the whole ride, but especially at the end, right, near ET. And I think the darkness and then being stopped there, and he started to cry a little bit. So we just held his hand. As soon as we got off, it was fine.
Magdoll is terrifying.
Yeah.
Magdoll is terrifying.
Yeah.
He didn't cry or scream. I was sitting behind him. I got this photo of him, and Cam is one of the most expressionate kids I've ever met in my life. And I have never seen his eyes get as big as they were when we were on that ride. He wasn't screaming. He wasn't trying to jump ship off the bike. He was just sitting there holding on for dear life with his eyes so wide open that
bless him.
it was pretty hilarious.
Honestly, it's pretty brave of him to like still have his eyes open. You know what I mean? He could have just been there like holding on for dear life, squeezing his eyes closed. Like, I don't want to see anything that's going on. But he was, I'll give him that. That's impressive.
I never thought of riding it that way. No, it's not as bad as I make out. Shelby, what have you been up to?
Working. Nothing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
The regular things.
Yeah.
Trying to deal with life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's me. It's just life and studying. Occasionally get a bit of sleep. Yeah. Yep. Right, before we get in, Ben and Aubree, do you want to give us a brief rundown of yourselves so our listeners know who you are and what you're about?
We are, I don't even know where I want to start. We love all things Universal. We are single dog parents doing our thing, going out, working full time, doing YouTube on the side, trying to make it a full time gig for us. And really our primary focus when it comes to all things YouTube is Universal. And we really love going there. I think I'm supposed to tell you guys like our favorite restaurants and snacks and stuff like that. So
whatever you want to say. Yeah, whatever you want to add on to that.
Well, I'm going to go bougie for my favorite restaurant. So I'm going to pick the Atlantic over at Epic because they have some of my favorite food. It is so delicious, specifically their lobster roll over there. We ate at Lombard's earlier today when we were in the parks, and I thought about getting the lobster roll there, and I was like, no, it's not as good as the one at the Atlantic. I'm going to save it for another time. But what's your favorite, Ben?
Well, you stole the Atlantic.
Yes,
and so I don't feel like I can use the same thing. I love the seared scallops from the Atlantic. That is probably my favorite entree. But I'm gonna pivot and I'm gonna go Blue Dragon
because of the banana Napoleon.
Because of the banana Napoleon and some beef and broccoli.
Yes,
I'm
that
a
beef
happy
and broccoli
camper.
is so good.
Yeah,
best
so
beef and broccoli I've ever had ever.
It's amazing. I didn't expect to like beef and broccoli as much as I actually really love their beef and broccoli.
Yep.
Oh, their food's so good.
I don't know. There's not a lot to say about us. We just love doing Universal stuff.
We're just like Shelby. We work.
Yeah.
And then we film YouTube videos. And then we work.
And we play with our dogs. And we film YouTube videos.
And we film YouTube videos. And it's, I mean, Aubree's the talent, I'll call it.
Yeah.
She's the talent. I'm the dry humor and video guy that's behind the camera for the most part.
You're a perfect mix.
Exactly. We'll let her
balance each other
be the bubbly, happy, and I'll just deliver very satirical one-liners.
Yes, exactly.
You forgot that you also take shirtless photos.
And he
Clearly.
takes shirtless photos, and he loves the Nightmare Fuel show. And we keep our fingers crossed that it'll
Really?
come back.
We can expand Nightmare Fuel. Yes, I'll expand it to almost any show, though.
It's
I love
true.
shows.
Now,
He
Ben,
did fall in love with a Disney show recently as well. So
okay.
yeah.
As I say, I didn't notice any enthusiasm when we watched that show with you, Nightmare Fuel, Ben. You know, it's just like, no, you were quite reserved.
I think I saw Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah, how many times was it?
50 plus times last year.
Minimum.
Wow.
So that's more than once a night then, because there weren't that many nights.
You hit the nail on the head there, Kelly.
Kelly,
it is.
I would probably, when we were there, I would probably go at least twice a night, depending if like anybody was like, "Hey, I want you to get a specific shot," then I might go more.
That's fair. Yeah.
Awesome.
Very
It
cool.
was a lot. I was tired of it by the end. I'll be honest. I was ready. Going to Hollow Scream was a good change up for a little while.
He knew the routine. If you needed to fill a dancer, and he probably could have done it.
Okay.
Not as good of dancing, but he would have known the show.
People would have loved seeing it.
I was going to say, but just take your shirt off, Ben. That would have been fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Good to go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah. So what's that? We've had favorite restaurant, favorite snack. What's your favorite snack?
Oh, I know mine. I know mine.
I do know yours.
Swamp Dog from Shrek.
He loves those things.
That's a great snack. Some garlic bread and a hot dog. I'm in.
It is, especially when you've just been like hot and sweaty and eating a lot of sweets, because we film videos and there's so many sweets at Universal.
The Christmas food video.
That at some point that swamp dog just kind of comes in.
Brings in new life.
I think it's a dessert, but I'm going to consider it a snack in my book. I love a good ginger newt. because they are
okay.
just light enough, but also have a good, and they're chewy. They're not a ginger snap, but they have a good ginger spice to them. I am a huge fan. I feel like it's an underrated item in the wizarding world. Big fan of the ginger newt.
Oh, I should have to check that out. I'm a big ginger fan.
Yeah,
I've heard
you'll
really
like
good
them.
things about that. I've heard really good things about that cookie.
Same.
And they're cute. They're cute.
They are cute. It used to be our like breakfast when we would hit EPA.
Yeah.
We would go and ride Hagrid's, and then we would get off Hagrid's, go over to Honeydukes and grab a pumpkin pasty and a ginger newt, and that would be like our breakfast to start the day.
I mean, pumpkin and ginger are the perfect combination as well.
It's
Okay.
solid breakfast.
Yeah. Just slight tangent, just a slight deviation. So a couple of days ago on your social media, Ben, I saw that you were promised a swamp dog. Did that happen?
Not today. No, because leading into being gone this week, I had to go through a bit of a cut, fat loss sort of phase and getting ready for the photo shoot. So
he's eating regular food again.
Eating regular food again.
And
I see.
And now that he's doing that, he was like, I want a swamp dog, but I think that might upset my tummy a little bit too fast. So
Yeah.
we're
I wouldn't
easing him in.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then before we get into the show properly, what is your favorite ride?
Oh, Velocicoaster. Hands down, Velocicoaster. Velocicoaster because you get a great thrill ride.
Yep.
Queue's great. The story's great. Like, I think that Velocicoaster is the best thrill ride roller coaster at the parks. Now, I think if you were like, hey, Monsters Unchained, I could be swayed.
Yeah.
I could be
but it's
swayed a
not
little
a
bit
thrill
with
ride, is it?
Monsters.
And they're my two, actually. And I allow those
I knew we get
both.
along, Tracy. I know that's why we get along.
You know,
so.
You see, I'll allow you to have both of them because they're completely different rides.
Yes.
Yeah, it works.
What about you?
Well, thrill-wise, I'll agree with you on Velocicoaster, but if I'm not going for a thrill ride, I think one of my favorite rides, because I love a Kuka arm, is Forbidden Journey. And it's not because Monsters is worse. I do think Monsters theme-wise and story is very, very good, but Forbidden Journey was one of like the first rides I ever went on at Universal. Aside from Velocicoaster. And I am just a nerd about how it's built, how it's themed. I am a huge nerd around Harry Potter. And so it's just something about that ride that it speaks to me in a lot of different ways. And aside from the spiders, which I absolutely hate, and I would also cover my eyes and close my eyes during that part, just like in E.T., I adore Forbidden Journey for a number of reasons.
Awesome.
Yeah. Aubree, I was there the summer it opened, and I can remember, like, people talk about Spider-Man ride and, like, how you felt when you first rode it.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about Forbidden Journey. Like,
Absolutely.
I have such a feeling of, like, oh my God, like, this changed my life. This ride changed my life.
It's so good. It's so
nice
good.
And you rode it later in life, because I feel like a lot of people, like, don't like it as much. So that made me happy.
After we wrote it, when we went back to our hotel that day, I specifically got on my computer and I'm like, Ben, I'm about to learn how this ride was built, how it does these things. I literally nerd out about ride functions for it, let alone like, again, how good of a ride it actually is in itself. Even if it does make some people a little queasy. Sorry, Ben. I love it. And I lean into it. I don't get motion sick. So I'm like, yeah, give me all the crazy movements and stuff.
So Aubree, are you like me then when you're on like any ride of the Kuka arm? Are you looking over the side to watch the actual ride vehicle on the tracks below?
Yes. The very first time we rode it got stalled and the lights came on and I was looking everywhere. It was the coolest thing.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had one ride on Battle of the Ministry where it broke down immediately when I got on it, and we got to do the whole ride just sitting on the motion base, lights on. And I was like, like if I did not have a restraint on, I would have stayed in the vehicle, but I would have gotten a very interesting view of things. So,
all right.
Very cool.
Okay.
All
Right. Kelly, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so just a quick programming note here at the top of the episode. Last month, Kayla, Shelby, and I reviewed the menus of Toon Lagoon and Marvel Superhero Island. I believe we used words like outdated, tired, boring, and we clearly angered the theme park gods because less than 24 hours after our vitriol rant, Islands of Adventure changed nearly every menu in the entire park, especially those in Toon Lagoon and Marvel Superhero Island. So, A, if you were able to get over the audio issues we had in our last episode, and B, you were listening saying, well, that's not on the menu anymore. That's what happened. So never fear, we will dig into those updates in a future episode. But today's topics are a little bit more timely, so we're holding off on that just for now.
Yeah. So for our appetizer this month, we will hear from Ben and Aubree about all of the Butterbeer season treats you can find around the resort between now and May 31st. For our entree, we will have the most comprehensive Mardi Gras overview to date. And for our dessert, we'll hear about the different ways we can connect with our special guests, along with a very special giveaway opportunity. So stay tuned. So Kayla, please kick off our appetizer.
All right. So March 1st kicked off Butterbeer season in all 3 parks and in the general world. There's a lot of Butterbeer cool little things that you could try from all different brands. So keep an eye out when you're in your grocery store and see what you can find. We tried creamer and it was good. And Ben and Aubree did some incredible detective work in a recent video reviewing all the Butterbeer treats at Universal, new and old. So let's review some of the classics at studios and islands before we dive into the new and most likely seasonal options. Everyone contribute where you can, but thoughts on... All right, so there's Butterbeer, hot frozen regular, the ice lolly, the caramel, hard packed ice cream, soft served ice cream, fudge, and potted cream. Those were our tried and trues. I got to try the ice lolly and I loved it.
I'm hearing good things about it.
Oh no.
Really? Yes.
I loved it.
Actually, yes, I remember now watching you, Ben, and you did not like it.
What did you like about it?
I think I thought the outside chocolate was okay, but then it was like just kind of a popsicle. And I think for me, it really turned into I can get a Butterbeer lolly it was like $8 and change, or I could go get soft serve from Florian's for like $6 and change. It was like, I'm 10 out of 10 times going to probably wait in line at Florian's to get some soft serve Butterbeer before I'm going to get a Butterbeer lolly.
I'm curious. It was enjoyable.
What did you like about it?
I knew this question was coming, and then I'm like, shoot, I don't know if I know this answer. And it really might be that I can never try things because I'm gluten-free, and maybe like there was a little joy, like,
excitement.
Hey, I can have this. And so I really liked it. Like that really might be the truth.
I mean, that's...
So the inside was like the ice pop, which I like ice pops. And then it was covered with like a cold, what would you say? Like a white chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh, you just put me
similar
off.
to what I understand of those ones at Minions that I can't have for some reason. So I don't know. I just thought it was enjoyable. It was messy.
Oh yeah.
And once you said about getting cheaper ice cream, like that's probably smarter.
I mean, you do have to wait in the line usually at Florian. So if you're willing to take sometimes that Florian line can get long. And so if you're willing to wait, 15 minutes to get ice cream, or if you want ice cream right now, I can certainly see the trade-off there. What's your time worth?
I think the thing though is like the ice lolly was the hit last year for Butterbeer season. It was the big new thing, and obviously like it performed well because they kept it around this year. And so we didn't try it last year. We didn't make our way over to it, and then throughout the year we just never grabbed one. And we're like, it's Butterbeer season, we got to try this. And so I had some very high expectations for the ice lolly as we're going through this entire gamut of Butterbeers. And to me, Butterbeer is supposed to be smooth and creamy and all of this. And although the ice lolly does have that Butterbeer flavor and it does have that coating on the outside, in lolly form, icy lolly form, and I'm not an iced Butterbeer, I'm not a frozen Butterbeer kind of girl.
I was just going to ask that, what you guys thought about those two drinks, if you're saying this about the lolly.
Yeah, like I wanted the lolly to be creamier, and the outer coating does not do enough. It's creamy, but it doesn't do enough to balance the iciness for me.
And to be fair, it was towards the end of all the Butterbeer things we tried. And so I think it was like, we did that and then two more after that. And so like we were getting to the point where we're like,
Butterbeered out.
I'm getting Butterbeered out a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You could see by the end of that that vlog, you could see that sugar was just taking hold of the pair of it. It was just
Ben needed a swamp dog.
I needed a swamp dog by the end of it. I needed some savory,
It's
some
like-
salt and some savory.
I mean, that was a brave task you took on. It really was.
But it was
Yeah.
it was a fun video
I'm
for sure.
sure.
It was fun.
Yeah. I mean, for me, everybody knows I'm not a Butterbeer fan. I'm very, very salty about the fact that bottled pumpkin juice disappeared because the other stuff doesn't taste the same. And
It's not the same,
and
Tracy. I
it's
agree.
full of ice.
I
Why?
have always wanted to try it in the bottle, and I was so sad when I found out they don't do that.
Oh, it was so nice because it wasn't. It was like a thick drink as well, if that makes sense. And it was just. Oh, I miss it so much. However, do you know what? A pumpkin juice iced lolly would be good though. If anybody's listening out there,
That would be good.
yeah. Kind of like being like a cider lolly, wouldn't it? In a way. Ben, I'm with you. The soft serve, that is when I can have it because I'm intermittently lactose intolerant.
Same.
Stupid
Same.
weird body. It's when I really want
Yep.
something, I can't have it. But I will take the hit for the Florian Fortescue's Butterbeer soft serve because it's amazing. The fudge, I kind of created my own and mine's better. So when I do next come out, if I can actually find a way of transporting it without it melting into a puddle, I will bring it on. We'll do a taste test. We'll compare them.
The fudges will happily taste test your butterbeer fudge.
Yes.
I'll be honest, it doesn't last long in our house because it's really good. Blowing my own trumpet, it took me a long time to develop the recipe and it's great. So, and I haven't had the others, so I can't comment on the others.
I think I've had everything on that list, and I'm not a big sweets fan. Butterbeer is very sweet, so it's like nice as a Harry Potter fan to get to have some, but like I like to get it if I'm with people to share it with, sort of
Oh,
deal.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's my like general feelings on all butterbeer. But I really love hot butterbeer, and I got the frozen vegan and I loved it. And that one actually I would get more. I don't know why I particularly like the vegan one.
I've heard a bunch of my friends say that they like that one better. Then they're not vegan or dairy free. So I don't know what it is about that one. I've had the original like one time, like 15 years ago or whenever whenever Harry Potter first opened. So it's been a minute for me. So I don't know what the difference
I'm
is.
with you, Kayla. I love the hot butterbeer, but there's just so limited times that you can enjoy it. While it's like also because it usually comes out and it's just scalding hot.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, let's put some of the hard pack in there. Oh, it was so good. Took some of the hard pack ice cream, put it in the hot butterbeer. It was delicious.
That's like a affogato almost. Would that be like? Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
The funny thing was, Lee and I were watching you. Obviously, we watched that vlog, Ben, and you had those on the table, and I went to Lee. What I need to do is just put a bit of that in now, and then you did it. And I was like, yes, you made my day.
It gave a good purpose for the hard packed ice cream because hard packed versus like true soft serve at Florian's. There's no question.
Yeah.
You go to Florian's, you get the fresh soft serve, but using that hard packed. And I appreciate that they have it over in Hogsmeade, so you have an option of having butterbeer ice cream while you're over there. It just doesn't quite taste the same. It's, basically extra. It's soft serve now, refrozen. But putting it in the hot butterbeer, not only did it cool it off, made it drinkable, it made it even more creamy. Which, man, it was it was very good hot butterbeer that day.
I might have to try that.
And then you get a ginger newt, and yeah, that.
See, the diet I started this week has already gone to pot. So there we go.
Kelly,
I
are
have
you going to
very-
say something?
Yeah, I was going to say I have very little to contribute. So Ben and Aubree, Shelby is a vegan, and I have anaphylactic dairy allergies. So we are quite limited on.
I got two of those. And so can you, Kelly.
Yes, we can have the frozen and the regular with the vegan topping. I've had it once. There are other drinks at Wizarding World that I love way more. The Tentine lemon squash, and the Auber's fizzy orange juice are my go-tos. So this is me speaking to say that I have nothing to contribute to this conversation. And it was another reason why we wanted you guys specifically on this episode. After I saw your YouTube video, I was like, I know exactly who our guests need to be for our April episode. So that's all I have to say about that. Anything else anyone wants to add before I move us on to the new Butterbeer seasonal items at studios in Iowa?
No, now you and I officially won't be able to have any of these things.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
That's fun.
And
I'll just be quiet.
Shelby.
It's okay.
All right. So the new things this year, we have a Butterbeer waffle, a cupcake, a cookie sandwich, a candy apple, and the shortbread bar. So these are the things, Ben and Aubree, that I'm most excited to hear what you guys have to say about these.
Well, starting off with I think you got to start with the waffle. The waffle was the most grammable one.
Yeah.
Kind of everybody was about the waffle, and it was good. It was lighter on the butterbeer flavor. You're used to butterbeer being like almost overly sweet, but it was great. And I hope that the waffle is one of those that they keep around kind of all year, given its popularity. Now it is $20, but that was
Yeah, it was
it was
$20.
It was a $20 waffle.
Taste wise, theming wise, the waffle was great. One thing that we have been told from friends who have had the waffle, ours, like, it's that hasn't been served as warm as you'd like it, like a nice hot fresh waffle coming out, and it has that pat of butter in the shape of like the Butterbeer barrel on it. That butter's not melting on top of that waffle, I'll tell you that. It's not warm enough to melt the butter. That being said, ours wasn't hot, but it wasn't cold either. But I really enjoyed the waffle. But Ben did doctor it up a bit as well.
You got to make the old Butterbeer waffle witch.
Oh,
take some soft.
Yeah, what is that?
You take your waffle, you cut it in half, and you take some of that soft serve, throw it in the middle, and make yourself a little ice cream sandwich out of it.
You guys went all Picasso on these menus.
I think we just got to a point where we decided there isn't much that you can't do with the Butterbeer soft serve to make things even better.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Can I just make a suggestion?
It came from it.
Sorry, go on, Ben.
I'm sorry.
I was go on. Just remind me to come back to this.
It came from an idea of that we had from I had gotten from a kid when I was in Mackinac Island. They did ice cream sandwich and waffles, and I was like, hey, I wonder if this is good. And it pulls it off with Butterbeer, and it did not disappoint. That is for sure.
Okay. So what I'm thinking is, if we take your waffle ice cream sandwich and we get some slices of candy apple in there as well.
Ooh, that's actually a good call.
Bit of crunch in there as well.
Refreshing and light to go with it. I think it would balance with the syrup that goes on top of the waffle is very sweet, and I think the extra slices of apple might actually be nice because they have the slices of strawberry on the waffle, which adds a nice additional little sweetness, but not too much with that. Apple would be pretty good on it.
Yeah,
be pretty solid. I like that.
You're welcome, everybody.
I just want to add my mom, my childhood special once a month breakfast were waffles and ice cream. We didn't make a sandwich. We just put the ice cream on top of our waffles and it melted a little. So hearing other people doing this, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was our little special thing that I did with my mom. So
Aww.
I got this nostalgic whatever reminder of that. So thanks, Ben.
I think that for that reason alone, if Universal doesn't keep the waffle year round, I think they're missing out, because I think it's going to be one of those pieces in the wizarding world that when people go and they experience for the first time and they're like, all right, we're grabbing breakfast at the Leaky Cauldron, and the kids sit down and it's like, I got a Harry Potter waffle. How people go nuts for Mickey waffles. It's going to become a Butterbeer waffle thing. Let alone you add the ice cream with it. Oh my gosh, what a treat and an experience. And it's not just a breakfast food. It can be a dessert later on in your day too. It can be throughout the entire day as an option, which I think they'll need to keep it. If they were able to keep the ice lolly, they can keep the waffle later on.
I was going to say that the ice lollies used to be seasonal and now they're year round. So I'm sure they'll keep that waffle, especially if it's popular. And I'm sure it is.
Okay, so what I need is for all of you to just keep going, keep buying them and eating them, and then when I finally get back out, they'll be there for me to try.
I wish I could help you out, Tracy.
I was going to say, by all of you, you just mean Ben and Aubree.
Yeah.
I didn't say you had to eat them. Just, if you loved me, you'd do it. No, emotional blackmail.
What else? What about the cupcake or the cookie sandwich thing?
Overall, with all of these, we're actually, I think, pleasantly surprised by the new Butterbeer season items. The cupcake is ginormous.
Big, yeah.
I was not expecting this cupcake to be nearly as huge as it is. And I would say the frosting to cake ratio is about the equivalent across the board. You get about just the same amount of frosting on this thing as you do cake. The cake is quite dense, and it is very light in flavor, which the frosting is heavy in that butterscotch flavor. So they kind of balance each other out. Now, when we went to film this and I went to eat the cupcake, one of the things that I like to do with my cupcakes is I like to break off the bottom half of the cake and put it on top and kind of eat it like a whoopie pie. Yeah. Don't do that with this cupcake because I didn't know that the inside of the cupcake is loaded with like butterbeer crumble bit sprinkle pieces, kind of like the white chocolate they put on the outside of the ice lolly. So when I went and did that, I made an absolute mess everywhere because all the bits fell out, and then it was just a crumbly jumbly mess of everything. But it did, as ugly as it looked while I was eating it, it did taste very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important bit.
It sounds like it was worth it then, despite the mess.
I think if you really love butterbeer and you're like a cupcake fiend, I think it's worth buying and trying. I myself tend to find that I love the frosting on cupcakes. The frosting doesn't love me. And so a couple bites in, all of a sudden my tummy's going, that's a little much. And so, if you want to split this with somebody or multiple people, definitely worth doing that. Especially, I don't remember what the price is off the top of my head, probably somewhere around $8, $9. It's shareable, and if you're eating it by yourself, you might get a tummy ache afterwards. But for $9, I might pass on this one and get some of the other items, solely for kind of like the ease of eating them as well, and taking with you later on. The cookie sandwich, though, I think we were very surprised by that.
I was surprised how much we liked. It was also huge. It had that same sort of frosting that the cupcake did. It gave me the same feeling as the cupcake because the cookies weren't overly flavorful, which was okay because it balanced out the frosting in the middle. Like I view the cookie at the cupcake and the cookie sandwich very, very similarly.
But Ben is a cookie snob.
Yeah.
And I was a little concerned how he would feel about this cookie sandwich. Are they going to be super cakey cookies? Are they going to be like crispy and crumbly and fall apart as you're eating it? And he actually was really, really like happy with how the cookie turned out.
Because the cookie sandwiches you get seasonally. Like you get them at Christmas, you get them at Mardi Gras, you get them sometimes during HH. Like the sort of like whoopie pie cookie sandwich you get all year round throughout the seasons. And so the Christmas ones were a little on the drier side, and so I was like, okay, this is going to be dry, and it's going to be, but those cookies were great.
Nice. Definitely a shareable item as well. It is
big.
The cupcake seems small compared to the cookie sandwich. I'll put it that way. That thing was, I don't know, the size of like a small, not like maybe a small dinner plate. It was big. It was a big cookie sandwich. And that was, I think, one of the last items we ate throughout the video. And the fact that we ate all of those different Butterbeer items and tried them throughout, and we still really like the cookie sandwich at the end, I think speaks really highly to how good of a cookie sandwich it actually was. I would say the cookie sandwich is better than the cupcake.
Okay.
Good point.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you try the shortbread? I can't remember.
Yeah, we did. It was so. If you imagine sort of like, I don't know, to my head went to a Take 5 bar almost, where it's just got layers on layers on layers on layers on layers of stuff. It was sweet, very, very sweet in the caramel and butterscotch flavors. I wanted a little more I'm a crunch guy. I'm one of those weirdos that chews ice cream. I chew a crunch to it. And I wanted almost like a pretzel, a little salt note to it with a little bit of crunch to it, because it was very heavy on the sweet notes, and I was like, I just want some salty crunch with that. That would have been really, really good.
I think going along with that, one of the things, especially for the shortbread bar, that would help round out the butterbeer flavor is adding a little, it's like when you get a salted caramel, adding that little bit of sea salt on top. Like I think with that shortbread bar, whether pretzel or actual just sea salt on top of it would have kind of brought that flavor around even more. The shortbread bar was pretty darn good. I think we expected it to be a shortbread that was a very crispy bottom, and it wasn't. Wasn't a bad thing, but I think we went into eating the shortbread bar expecting it to be something that was completely different than what they had provided, and we were pleasantly surprised. But overall, good item. Not our top favorite butterbeer item though for the season. It didn't scream butterbeer to me.
Right.
Cool.
Okay, you've given me ideas because shortbread is something that I make, and butterbeer shortbread is something I've been working on. And the idea of the little pieces of crunchy, salty pretzel in there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that'll be the next batch. I'll try that.
We'll taste test stuff if you need to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Absolutely.
that's another thing you're going to have to make along with the fudge.
That will travel. Now I know the shortbread will travel.
Yeah.
So
That will be easier.
I shall have that perfected for the next trip. Cool.
Yes. And then the other thing on here is the candy apple. Bent.
Transportable. It's transportable.
That is the most transportable item on a stick. He thought it was going to fall off as we were filming, and I'm pointing it like a wand. The candy apple, Ben has never had a candy apple in the theme park or ever before. So that was his first ever candy apple experience, which I'll let you share about that. But I forgot how nice a candy apple is until we had this butterbeer candied apple, because it makes you feel like you're eating a health food all of a sudden because it's an apple underneath all of it. I think the thing with a candy apple is like, I want to eat that, but I want to be able to like cut it up into slices and then have like a baggie to carry with me and then eat it throughout my day. Ideally, the chocolate covering doesn't melt. It tasted great. It was light. It was refreshing. It still had that butterbeer flavor. Do I want to spend that much on an apple when I'm at a theme park? I don't know, but if you want something that makes you feel a little bit healthier, it's a good option for butterbeer.
Yeah, I like the balance of the sweetness from the butterbeer and the tartness of like that Granny Smith apple was pretty nice. It was pleasant with the caramel and the butterbeer chocolate, because it just kind of had that outer chocolate coating like the lolly, and then a caramel layer, and then the apple. And so like you got some pretty good sweet notes and then that nice little tartness from the Granny Smith.
Very nice.
Yes.
We've done what we call our perfect day episodes twice now. First time was our very first episode, and then we redid it after Epic opened and we'd all visited. And what that meant was that you got to pick like all magical modes of transportation were available, and we also had full control over the weather. So we could like hop on Hiccup's wing gliders, then go for a spin in the Fearless River at Volcano Bay and immediately be dry. And then you can have a hot butter beer that stays the perfect temperature the entire day, so that no matter what, it's exactly the temperature that you need it. So I feel like this apple would be one of your like perfect day. You just got to snack on it the whole day and it never melted or got too cold or too hot. It would just be in your park bag that you could gnaw on whenever you wanted. That's what it made me think of.
100%. It's one of those you'd work on throughout the whole day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't believe in that apple. I thought, how in the world is an apple going to mix with butterbeer? So I'm glad you tried it and you told us it was good. When I saw the release, I'm like, no.
Well, I don't know. I think butterbeer and caramel have very similar flavor profiles overall, and the caramel apples are a thing.
Yeah.
So
it gave us very strong caramel flavor to it.
Okay.
And then having that white chocolate coating on it just kind of made it a nice smooth flavor with the caramel, with the bitterness of the apple. So I think it balanced really well.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. Shelby.
Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Epic Universe has some classic and unique items as well. Aubree and Ben, I know you didn't get over to Epic for your original Butterbeer season video, but have you tried any of those seasonal items since? And if not, has anyone heard anything? Curious.
Unfortunately, we have not. It turned into an economics thing where like I think a ticket over to Epic Universe was
Yeah, it's pricey right
$180, $190. And then so it was like, man, these butterbeer treats turn into $500 treats real quick. And it was like,
yeah.
So we have not been over to Epic Universe actually in a little while.
You're probably
have
still
some
butterbeered
friends.
out.
Right. We do have
Sorry,
some
Aubree.
friends that tried the Butterbeer creme brulee over at Epic, and they said it was pretty darn good. I believe one of them expected the top of the creme brulee to be a bit more bruleed than it was, and it didn't quite have that like pop when you hit it on top.
no.
Yeah.
Got it. So they were like, oh darn. But overall, the taste and everything, they really enjoyed their creme brulee butterbeer. I'm
We've had-
excited to try it at some point,
Yeah,
though.
we've had the crepe before.
We have had
Yeah.
the butterbeer crepe over there, though.
Yeah.
Which
Sweet.
you need a sweet treat to start your day off with. Oh boy, that'll
Yeah.
do it.
What's really weird is, because obviously with being over there for the opening of Epic, and we got to try it then because Lee is what we say here. He's a tight northerner and he won't pay that sort of money for anything. So it was my only chance. So we tried it, and Lee, who has a very sweet tooth, was like, "Oh, that's far too sweet. I can't eat that." And me, who is very savoury, was like, "Give me more. I really like this." And I don't know what I was possessed by, but I thought that crepe was really good. And
Same.
I don't do
I'm with
sweet. Yeah, it was just like, yeah, I was possessed, I think, by a sugar demon. Sorry.
So the 3 Epic new treats are the creme brulee that you were talking about, a macaron, and the truffle. Just if other people are trying, if any listeners try any of these, please reach out to us and let us know what they think about it, and we can share your pictures or thoughts on our socials. So
I'm intrigued by the
Before-
macaron.
Photos.
Before I forget, I always forget the name of it. The sweets place by Chez Alcatraz.
Oh yeah, the candy shop.
Oh, the
San-
candy store.
Yeah, San Francisco
Mhm.
Candy Co.
I
There-
was in there, and I think I was like taking pictures of the sweets, and the women got into a conversation with me, the workers, and something got brought up about, I think it was like, oh, I asked if any of them were gluten-free, and they said no. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they were really apologetic. I'm like, oh, no, you like Universal does a lot of things. It's okay. Like, thanks for apologizing. And then something I think I said about the macarons and like that I wish they were gluten-free, that they should be. And they said that they outsource where they get the macarons. That's why they can't label them as gluten-free. I think it's their, wherever the facility, and that they're looking to change where they're getting them from. And so they might become gluten-free in the future. So
That would be
I thought
cool.
that was fun, exciting news. And
Yeah.
they seem to care. So yay.
Yeah, good to hear.
Nice.
Fingers
positive
crossed.
spin on our or not yearly, our every month episode reminder of always check the menus, because they're changing all the time, and what could have been safe or accessible at one point might not be, or vice versa, like what Kayla's talking about. Something that you couldn't eat before might become available to you.
Very true.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, before we move on, any final thoughts on Butterbeer season?
They need to make more of the butterbeer items vegan, please.
Fair.
I want to try them.
Yes.
I thought it was a fun change up between the Mardi Gras food, personally.
oh, that's a good call.
Yeah.
I really liked the merch. We talked about it last episode, that a lot of the stuff is so beautiful. They have such a cool logo that's so simple, and I think it could be any gender. You could add sparkles, whatever. And I thought the treats themselves were beautiful. The wrappers for my ice lolly was really cool and pretty. And then the merch, I don't need any of it. And man, did I want to buy overpriced bags and jackets and hats. So one day, if they keep it coming at me, I will buy merch and be like, well, I guess I'm wearing a butterbeer jacket.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Semi-related and super quick story. I posted a video on our Instagram. I tried my house lolly from Diagon Alley, and it was, so I'm a Ravenclaw, and so it's boysenberry and grape. So I can
Yum.
eat the Ravenclaw and the Gryffindor lollies. And again, it was that same kind of $9 one. I actually really, really liked it the more I sat with it. I think it's the first huckleberry, the first time I've ever had huckleberry anything. And I know like our friend Grace raves about the huckleberry ice cream from Florian's, and I loved that part, but I was filming that video at a super awkward angle and trying to lean over so that I wasn't dripping. Like, it was dripping everywhere. And I wasn't thinking about the way that I was leaning forward. And later on, I looked down and there was grape Like there was purple stains all over my shoes. My shoes were covered in lollipop or not in popsicle drippings. And I had the flashback to Ben and Aubree. There's a famous Taste of Universal story. The suit of armor that was in the torture fair scare zone a couple years ago got me so good that they broke the team member that was in the little booth right there. Like she fell down laughing because I jumped in the air and spilled an entire beer down my body and into my shoes. And so I came home. I had to like bag my shoes and then wash my shoes in the washing machine. And I was like, this is like that time that I got scared and I got beer all in my shoes. Except this time it was popsicle. Bright purple, red popsicle all over my shoes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. That's that. There, I had more to contribute about a non-butterbeer item than I had about anything butterbeer related. But tangentially, I had a Hogwarts, I had a Harry Potter themed lolly that I thoroughly enjoyed, as did my shoes.
Yes.
So.
And now your shoes are decorated to celebrate that, so it's a great souvenir.
It almost all came out. So my Hoka's good to go. Hoka's are good to go for another adventure.
Okay, that's different story then. Yeah. Okay then, after all of that sugar, which there was a lot of, I'm excited to move us along to a mostly savoury entree, and by the time this episode airs, the good times will have rolled along and Mardi Gras 2026 will be no more. So let's take a stroll around the park, and I am definitely very eager to hear everyone's reviews of this year's event. I am not jealous at all. But for this review, we're mostly discussing the food. If you've had a particular experience with the drink, alcoholic or not, share those thoughts. I need to hear it all. Now, if you walk straight into New York, you'll encounter a high concentration of Mardi Gras booths in the area known as Gramercy Park. And on the Transformers side of this park, you'll find Bites of the Bayou, Daiquiri Deck. Daiquiri? What the... I know that word.
Known as a daiquiri.
I know. I'm just
I like daiquiri. Sounds really fancy.
Yeah. I like that
Daiquiri,
too.
please.
Daiquiri? If it wouldn't make such an awful noise, I would have face palmed. Wow.
That's how James Bond would order one. We'll put it that way.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think I need to be shaken, not stirred. Anyway. Wow. Bites of the Bayou, Daiquiri Deck, Taste the Quarter, and Mardi Gras Beer Garden. So what are your thoughts on the offerings at these locations?
Husband Mark's favorite thing was the fried green tomato po' boy. Yes. And it looked so boring. It was so boring looking.
Everybody raves about it though.
But he said it tasted really good. That's what matters.
Yeah, that is what matters. They used to put slices of red, like the actual red tomato on it, but they stopped doing that. I think it looked more exciting when they did that. But it's so good. That's my favorite.
I need to share the picture I have. It's so ugly. It's so not what you post on social media but it's like, okay, he said this is his favorite, and he liked everything that we had, and he really loved the tomato po' boy. So yeah, and I didn't get it, but I liked that the daiquiri bar had they had 3 or 4 drinks, and then one of the drinks was a little bit of each, and it made flag color. And I thought that was neat and a cool way to try a little bit of everything. They didn't do any tastings this year, I don't believe, unless I missed it. So I thought this was a cool way. I like tastings. I like getting a little bit of stuff versus committing to one, especially with a drink. So if I were to get something, it would have been that one. And I hope they do it again.
Anybody have anything else from there?
I took a bite at Jessica's fried green tomato po' boy. It was good. That's just not my thing. But it was delicious for what it was, coming from someone who does not particularly love tomatoes. So that's that.
That was my question. How, I know you say it differently, but how tomato-y does it actually taste?
Not very.
Okay. Because
I feel like you taste more of like the bread, the sauce, and like the breading of the tomato than the actual tomato.
Okay. Because I will only eat them in things, like if it's in a burger or in a sauce, something like that. But if you handed me a slice of tomato,
if you can eat like a slice of it in a burger, I think you could eat this. I think it would be fine.
It does look, I'm intrigued by it. Okay.
If the fried green tomato po' boy was anything similar, obviously different, tomato versus oyster. I tried the fried oyster po' boy, and they looked very similar in how they were built. The amount of bread to toppings ratio on my po' boy was like, there was so much bread, and it wasn't necessarily bad, but it was like I got all bread in most of my bites, and there wasn't enough sauce to really balance out the dryness of the bread. That like it didn't look cute. It wasn't grammable. It didn't taste bad. Like I ate all the fried oysters on it. Those were all right. But like the balance didn't quite fit for me on that booth.
Okay.
So you think the problem is they're putting the sauce on the bottom of the bun, like the very bottom, like the V part, instead of like saucing it to the side. You know what I mean? Like how you would
gotta sauce it up.
Yeah. Like they're on the fried green tomato po' boy, they're definitely putting enough sauce. It's just buried. And like you don't taste it until you're eating the bottom part of the bun. And it's like, who builds a sandwich like that? You got to like do the back and forth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you all not know how to make a sandwich? I don't get it.
You need to get in there and teach them, Shelby.
What, Tracy?
You need to get in there and teach them how to make a sandwich.
I know. I'm angling for that.
Yeah.
Sandwich artiste.
My partner says I do make the best sandwiches, so I will brag on that.
All right.
Made with love.
I feel like we may be building a picnic here, you know. I'm bringing the shortbread and the fudge. You're bringing the sandwiches.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Did anyone like anything else? Either call out something that they really liked or something they did not like from these booths?
I skipped the beignets this year because I've had them 2 other times and they were good. And I don't get desserts very often, again, being dairy free, but there were other things that I really wanted to try that were new. So I skipped that.
Fair.
We had the beignets and the king cake, and it was one of those, we had them, and then my parents, it was their first time ever coming to Mardi Gras, and it was like, you got to get the beignets. Like, did you go to Mardi Gras and not, like, if you didn't get the beignets, it's like, no, you gotta get some beignets, especially if it's your first time. And so they're classics, but can totally understand, Kelly, like where you're going. If you've had them, you've had them.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else before moving on to Mummy side?
Don't think so.
The Mummy side of Gramercy Park featured 3 additional booths: Greece, Puerto Rico, and Bourbon Street snacks. What was everyone's experience with these items?
I can only eat one of these items. But Kelly,
the red beans and rice, right?
Yeah, the red beans and rice. It's pretty good.
I thought it was great. I love red beans and rice. I'm not a huge fan of vegan sausage, but again, I just posted this on ours Instagram, but it was just sitting on top. So like, I think the beans and rice were worth the price, even if I didn't eat the sausage. So
that bowl was huge, Kelly. Like they filled it to the top. Like I couldn't have eaten that alone.
Yeah. Was that not your size experience of the first one that you had, or?
I don't remember. I'd have to look at my photos. I'm not sure if it was. I don't remember being like, wow, that's a lot of food. But I feel like the red beans and rice kind of always is. No, it doesn't. My original photo doesn't look like that. That was a huge portion compared, like before, because that one you could like see the rice. This one you can't see it. Like, and it did not come all the way to the top of the bowl.
Okay. Well, apparently they saw us come in and they were like, those are hungry. Let's give them some beans and rice.
I was able to eat the chicken Slovaki without the pita. The feta was exceptional. And I'm actually not a big cheese person, so I was shocked at how much I loved the feta. It was like a whipped feta. I don't know. I just thought it was really unique. I love the consistency. I liked it with the chicken. The chicken was good. I thought it needed a little bit more seasoning. And I thought that it was missing the pita. I thought the pita would have brought it all together. So like it was good, but it was not the best. It was probably the worst gluten-free thing that I had. And I would not go for seconds.
That's a shame.
But again, like it was good. I wish that I could have tried the pita. The pinchos were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Also got it without the bread. It was great this year that they allowed me to do that. There was no issue. In Greece, the lady seemed upset for me. She's like, "You don't want the pita?" And I'm like, "No, I can't have the pita." She's like, "You don't want it?"
Yeah.
I don't know if she thought I was on like a low carb diet or something, and it was a choice. But anyway, my point. So no one other than Greece made any sort of even comment that I asked for no bread or no whatever I'd asked for no of. The pinchos were awesome. The sauce was awesome, and the pastel fritters I thought were better than 2 years ago when I had them. And I wanted to go back for seconds and just ran out of time when I was with Mark. So the gluten-free items there, or the gluten-free items in general, I had a really nice time. What I kept telling everyone, it was small but mighty. We had few options, but the options were great. And so that was good. I want a little bit more options. And we'll get to my real frustration that I want options that clearly should be gluten-free, be made gluten-free. But I did enjoy being able to say no bread this year. I thought that was a nice update for gluten-free people.
Yeah, it does help, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The pinchos were our probably our go-to from all of Mardi Gras. Like those were delicious.
The Puerto Rico booth in general, like we didn't actually end up trying the pastel fritters because I had mixed feelings about them 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Knowing what you just said now, we're gonna have to go back and try those before the season ends now. But the Puerto Rico booth had some of my favorite food, like the pinchos, excellent. We went back and got those a number of times, or like when my parents and Ben's parents came out, we're like, we gotta go get you some pinchos. And then I really like the coconut sancocho. I am a sucker for coconut, and it just was light. It was refreshing. And if you're a coconut fan, it's very, very good.
I heard that was the number one dessert of Mardi Gras.
It was good.
It was good. For people, again, if you like coconut, I know there's like, I have family members. I was like, oh, you got to try this. And they're like, I don't enjoy coconut. I'm like, probably don't try it then.
No, I remember watching you eating that, and Lee was laughing because the faces I was pulling, because I really, really hate coconut. You were really enjoying it. I'm going, how can you like that? It's horrible.
Oh, you give me a slice of coconut cake, I will eat the whole thing.
Yeah, I love it too.
Can I jump in? It's really funny, Tracy, when you say I was watching you I was watching you eat this. I was watching you drink this. I just imagine them like in your basement.
Yeah, I was going to say
they were just at the park watching us from a distance.
That's
actually.
what I was going to say. You know when you saw that bush rustling, that was me.
Yeah. I had like a kidnap story in my brain. You guys went a much normal route of just watching at the park.
Hey, we've all got to have hobbies.
All right. I had very similar to you, Kayla. So I had the chicken souvlaki, but without the feta. And I totally agree. It was just missing something. Like it was bread and the veggies were fine and the chicken was good. But this was also one of my least favorite things. I'm glad I tried it. One of our listeners, Cabana K, reached out and said that I should give it a shot. And I think it really just did miss that feta. Adding that little tang, I think would have been really good. I had the pinchos and the pastel fritters. I, similar to you, Aubree, was not a huge fan. I love tostones, like the unripe plantain as a savory item. I absolutely love, but I'm not a big fan of the maduros, like the sweet plantain preparation of it. I had them again
every time.
Yeah, I had them again this year, and they were still good. I still wish there was more filling than breading on them. And the pinchos were fantastic. I left because I thought you want to talk about your messy cupcake. I got my pinchos and was like, that's not a lot of sauce on there. And then I ate it and was like, that was delicious, but I wish there was more sauce. And I looked around and like, I am covered in barbecue sauce. My face is covered in barbecue sauce. My water bottle
on your shoes?
is covered. It was not on my shoes. It was on the table. And then it was on my phone because I was trying to take a picture of it. And I used like half. I'm not okay. I was going to say I'm not a mess ordinarily, but I can tend towards the messy side of human personas. But I thought the pinchos were fantastic, kind of like everybody else.
Cameron also liked the pinchos and licked the plate clean of the sauce.
He did. There's a video of that, of like legitimately licking the plate.
I was very proud of him.
Oh,
all right. So continuing our walk around the park, we find Italy and a Bloody Mary cart at the end of New York. And I confess now that in our Mardi Gras menu episode, I confidently announced, based on my subpar map reading skills, that Italy had its own booth this year instead of being located inside of Louis'. And I was half right, so you didn't need to go inside of Louis' to order. But if you wanted the burrata focaccia sandwich or the sfogliatella, you had to order that at the Louis' pickup window. And seeing as how both of these are full of meat, dairy, and grains, Ben and Aubree, did you try either of these items?
I got to give you a couple of props, Kelly. One, like we missed the Italy booth initially too. We were like, "Oh, where is this?" and walked right by it.
It's easy to miss.
Yeah.
And I also applaud your pronunciation of sfogliatella
Oh, thank
because
you.
we had to look that up. We were like, how do you say this thing?
Ben's parents know Italian, so we asked them.
Perfect.
And so you had this sfogliatella.
I did. I just actually saw a picture of the burrata focaccia the other day, and I was like looking at it, and I was like, that looks pretty good. We should go back and try that one.
Although we had heard it was
Yeah.
mixed reviews.
We had heard
from
mixed
people
reviews,
that
so we
had
didn't commit to that one. But the sfogliatella, it was good. It's one of those times where you know they have mass produced a number of pastry items. And so although it tasted fine, it didn't come across as like the freshest pastry that has a nice crunch and crispiness to it. It's one of those like, okay, you guys made a bunch of this, threw them in a freezer. They got a little soft. And so it wasn't bad, but it didn't quite hit the spot of what I would want for a pastry item like that.
Gotcha.
Was that the one that looked like a lobster tail?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It
Oh, I've
looked
just
cool.
looked them up. Wow. Oh, that looks amazing.
They look amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
They it's pretty impressive. But also, I'll plug Ben's parents again. Love traveling to Italy, love going there. They're like, you got to go to Italy. You got to try one there in person. I was like, okay, let me book that trip just for the dessert.
I mean, this is good a reason as any.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, when you look at it that way, a $500 day epic
Right.
is totally worth
Truly.
it for the 3 treats you'd get.
I'm just imagining you on a flight to Italy. Like, oh, why are you guys going? To try a dessert. I'm like, oh.
Hey, when we go someday, I will be eating all the fun food over there. So
Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's vacation math.
yes, exactly.
So, yeah. There you go.
And speaking of the Bloody Mary carts that were all over the event, where do you guys all stand on Bloody Mary as a drink?
I liked them, but I'm very picky about them. So I feel like Mark and I will get them maybe like twice a year, and we know where we like them / or we know how to make them at home like we like them. Like it's a weird treat. It's not a treat. It's like we have to be in the mood for it, and it has to be a very specific way. So we don't really order them unless we're at somewhere like kind of fancy, I guess, or like a farm to table kind of place. We more trust with our Bloody Mary mixing. That was a complicated answer for a simple question.
I would just like to say that this is one of the times that I'm actually quite happy to be allergic to vodka.
Yeah.
Because I just look at the ingredients in a Bloody Mary and it's like, is that not just a watered down sauce?
Yeah.
It's
I
just
don't
yeah.
cold savory tomato juice is not my jam. So that I'm much more of like a mimosa or a Paloma if I'm going to get a breakfast bevy than I am a Bloody Mary.
100% behind you on that, Kelly. I'm not a tomato juice person, and if I'm gonna have a breakfast beverage, that's not gonna be my go-to.
No.
And there's unfortunately not a lot of vegan Bloody Marys out there, especially in the theme parks. They don't tend to make them vegan, so I don't get to even try them. Apparently Lombard's, though, has new vegan Bloody Marys. I haven't tried them yet, but apparently you can get one there. I don't have a reason to go to Lombard's, though. So
Is it the
Bloody Mary's not going to get me in the door?
No. Is it the Worcester sauce in it that?
There's usually anchovies.
Yeah.
Which that's in the Worcester sauce. Which is how you say it, people. It's not Worcestershire. Worcester.
Oh,
Worcester
if you think
sauce.
Worcestershire is bad, you should hear how it typically comes out of my mouth. But
my favourite still was it? Wash your sister Cherie sauce. That's my favourite. Yes, I'm on a mission to educate Two syllables. Worcester. That's how we all say it. Well, lots of us say it.
If you said that over here, no one would know what you're talking about. Unfortunately,
Not at all.
no one has ever heard that pronunciation before.
Well, I'm from near that place, so
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, there's another tangent.
All right. Should we move on to the next booth?
Okay, we're ready to move on. We're going to move on to San Francisco. This area of the park featured the Austria and China booths. This is going to be another Fudge Factor exclusive review. What were your thoughts on the food at these booths? So we have Austria, which is the pork schnitzel, the goulash, and the Kaiserschmarrn. I think I'm saying that correctly. And then China, the malo beef skewer and shrimp fried rice.
I enjoyed a lot of the offerings from Austria. I like the pork schnitzel. It also had that potato salad with it. Well, that is our favorite from like the Today Cafe, sort of cold potato salad.
Mhm.
The pork schnitzel was fresh, hot, really, really good. And the Kaiserschmarrn was probably my favorite dessert because it was just like pancakes with the
Lingonberry sauce and
lingonberry
applesauce.
jam and applesauce
Yeah.
with powdered sugar on it. I was like, sign me up. I'm in for that. Like, that was delicious.
The Kaiserschmarrn was one that I was like, I want to just make this at home. Just some like scrambled pancakes, basically, with its own toppings. We passed on the goulash. I was a kid that grew up eating goulash, and I was like, I know what this is. So didn't do that. But over at China, we specifically got the mala beef skewer, which they brought it back from last year. We were going to get the shrimp fried rice, but at the time they're like, yeah, we're out of rice right now. We're making more. So we didn't end up trying that one. The mala beef skewer is good. It's a fattier piece of meat than what you get for like the pinchos. So I tend more towards the pinchos where the mala beef skewer. One thing that somebody recommended to us was if you're going to do the China booth, get a mala beef skewer and a shrimp fried rice and just take the beef skewer, put it in your rice and mix it all up and eat it that way, which I was like, that would be pretty good. I bet. I bet you that wouldn't taste half bad. But yeah, we went to the Austrian booth a few times. We liked the pork schnitzel quite a bit, and the balance with the Kaiserschmarrn was very nice.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I could have eaten the mala beef skewer this year, but I was so burned by that terrible beef skewer that I got this summer from that same San Francisco booth that I saw it and was like, nope. Like it was at the bottom of my totem pole as far as I think there were 10 dairy-free items this year. And it was very near the bottom of my totem pole. And at one point I was with my best friend Jess, and I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I got in line and they handed the people, a couple in front of me, one. And I was like, it looks exactly the same. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And so again, there were, I, even though I got more Mardi Gras than I usually do this year, I had a limited time and a limited budget. And so it just didn't make the top of my list.
Speaking of Jess, I knew I tasted a drink and I couldn't remember. I had the Austria coffee. I'm finding it right now. It was so good. I can't pronounce ice cough.
I don't even remember the name of it, but I know exactly what you're talking about because I had it too.
Did you like it?
It was such strong coffee that at first I thought there was alcohol in it. I was like, whoa, like this is potent. And then I started thinking, I'm like, did they check my ID? No, they didn't. They did. Well, what's going on? I even had Ben taste it, who doesn't drink alcohol. Was like, tell me if you feel like there's vodka in this because it seems like it's that strong. There wasn't. It just was such strong coffee, but it wasn't a bad thing, especially if you mix in the cream topping that they had on top of it. My mom absolutely loved hers. She needed an afternoon pick me up. I was like, I know where to get you a good coffee then.
Yep.
So we stopped at the Austria booth.
Yeah, I loved it. And then I posted about it on the same day, right, that Jess and Kelly came, or
I think you got it.
near-ish.
Yes, that you were there on the early side of the weekend and we stayed later in the weekend. So that definitely was enjoyed. She loved that iced coffee. So
Yeah, she said she didn't know about it, and I was like, yeah, I feel like no one's talking about it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great pick-me-up. I thought it was good coffee. The topping was sweet but not too sweet. It was just really nice. It was a nice, refreshing pick-me-up. I thought it was special. I really thought it was a very special, unique little coffee treat that I thought, like when I sipped it, I was like, I can't believe people aren't talking about this because I think it's really good. So that's my little plug for my little Vienna coffee that I hope they bring back.
And I'm glad they took another swing at it because I feel like I heard very mixed reviews about the Jason Booth coffee from HHN this year.
And that one did have alcohol in it.
I think so.
I think it did.
Okay. But yeah, I heard very mixed things about that. So I'm glad they went for it again because hopefully that means we'll have more like morning beverages. We talk all the time about not having a ton of breakfasty options around the parks. And so that would be a fun one to bring back if they did a holiday one or something too.
Yeah. It'd be funny if this was the same thing just without the alcohol and if it like tasted better. If they just had a ton of extra from the Jason booth.
That's an interesting thought.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Aubree, would you like to take the next one?
Yeah. The bridge between Diagon Alley and Springfield was home to the Chili Patagonia booth and another Bloody Mary bar. Chili was a little bit more accessible to this group. What were your thoughts on this menu?
The fire salmon, Verlasso fire salmon was awesome. And I was going to get into this at the end, but I'll get into it now. How they built the cooker things for the salmon, the pinchos, and I think the
picanha had the grill and the jerk chicken were all on big giant grills this year.
They're so cool. But the salmon one was especially cool because the salmon can't like sit on or they didn't have it sitting on the grill like the beef did. And anyway, I took pictures and I wanted to wait until after this episode I could fangirl about these grills. And I showed my husband and some friends and said, "Hi, can you build this in my backyard? Because this is so cool." And it tasted delicious. And I liked that we were at a theme park and it was like relatively healthy. It wasn't super fried. It was just fire grilled. That's nifty to me.
I love the team members that are out there just slinging it over those grills, over those smokers and stuff. Like, oh, they're working.
Yes. Yeah. And it was worth it. The salmon was delicious. The potatoes were delicious. I love the chimichurri. It was a very strong chimichurri. When they gave me my plate, I smelled it immediately, and I was so happy.
Well, it threw me back to the spinal cord chicken from HHN a couple years ago that had that chimichurri on it. And I was like,
that was so good.
They can probably put that chimichurri on anything, and I'm not gonna be mad about it. I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
I think I'm on video on our Instagram saying I would eat a flip-flop covered in that, like Guy Fieri style.
Just give me a bowl of chimichurri. It's great.
Yeah.
Kelly, that sounds like a TikTok challenge.
Yeah. I'm not on TikTok, so unfortunately that's not. But I had the salmon twice and had two very different looking dishes, but two equally fantastic meals. So I had it with Kayla, like we shared one, and it was on the thick side of the salmon fillet. And so it was a lot of salmon with not as much seasoning, obviously, because you've got a little bit of a smaller portion to be working with as far as the like coverage area of it. And that was fantastic. The salmon was so light. Again, Verlasso salmon is sustainably raised very specifically in that area of Chile, and it's known for being a very light fillet of fish. And fun fact, Verlasso is now a sponsor at Universal, and so you can find Verlasso salmon now at Mythos and Confisco, and I think Big Fire,
Lombard's
somewhere else. Lombard's, okay. But then just last weekend, I got to meet up with our friends Stephanie and Andrea from the Mischief Managers podcast. And we got this again, and we had the very tail piece of the filet. And so it was a lot thinner, but the surface area of the seasoning, it was so well seasoned and so flavorful. I absolutely adored this dish, and I thought it was so fantastic.
I couldn't believe Kelly wanted me to eat some of her plate. Like, she had to beg me to share with her. And I was like, no, it's so good. Like, you eat it.
I was pacing myself. That was the very first thing we ate. And I was like, I have like 7 more things to try today. So I was pacing myself, but I'm always happy to share with you, my friend, especially when we can find something that's both gluten and dairy free. We got to go for it.
Yeah. Ben and Aubree, what did you think? Did you have this?
I'm not a big salmon person personally. Aubree grew up in the Pacific Northwest though, so she's all about the salmon. I second the chimichurri comments for sure.
The salmon I thought was really good. It had a lighter smokiness to it than your traditional smoked salmon, so that was kind of nice, especially if you did get a piece that was well seasoned. I too, Kayla, appreciate how they make and cook the salmon. I just think it's very unique and interesting. And again, being originally from the Pacific Northwest, smoked salmon is just traditional from where I grew up. And so finding another way to see how people are cooking it, and I really appreciated that. We did do the pastel de choclo, if I'm saying it right. Not the most beautiful looking food.
It looks like dog food.
And we were pretty iffy about it as far as like just the ingredients within it. We're like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not. It was a pleasant surprise. It was not bad, but it did just kind of kick me into like growing up eating casseroles. That's really what it reminded me of. I'm like, yeah, this is just, a mix and meld of different ingredients, and it's a casserole from Chile. Like, okay. It was not an item which I would go back and get regularly. But if it's something that fits somebody's, flavor palette, things that they like, or has ingredients that work for them, it's a great option there. But it wasn't one that really stood out to me highly this year as one that I would go back for.
I kind of just found it under seasoned for kind of what you got. It was a lot of that corn topping, and the ground beef was kind of like, or meat was just kind of under seasoned.
It's just like my mom's casserole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had our many of our other friends that were in our group tried that one, and that's another video on our Instagram. Now, I do just appreciate Mardi Gras for bringing traditional cultural dishes to this theme park. Like, I feel like those are quite often opposites as far as you think theme park food. It's the most like bland, non-special thing you can think of. And then so the fact that they are willing to bring these dishes to people's attention, I think it's always worth, if you can, trying something that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone and understanding that it is of cultural significance to another culture. And I always think of, I last summer, one of the summer camps that I ran, one of our volunteers was from India originally, and he had never had a hot dog. And so, we're in St. Louis, I bring him to Busch Stadium, and I'm like, here's your first ever hot dog. And he nearly like vomited it right back up when he took a bite of it. He's like, this is disgusting. I can't believe this is an American staple. And we think of a hot dog as like the most bland, basic kind of, it's a hot dog sort of thing. But to him, it was so outside of his knowledge of food and comfort and things like that. So yeah, all that to say, I think it's cool that they took a risk on some items that are culturally significant to other people, even if they're outside of our typical culinary palette.
Yeah.
Continuing on to Springfield, it's time to chat about some flavor powerhouses, Brazil and Jamaica. What's everyone's experience with these booths?
These were some solid booths.
These were some good booths.
Oh, yeah.
Good booths. Loved us some Rasta pasta.
I was very pleasantly surprised by the Rasta pasta.
I love the jerk chicken.
And
it was spicy. It had some kick to it. Mix the two of them together.
Yeah.
I'm in.
There you go.
But I felt like the key was you had to enjoy the Rasta pasta first, because if you ate that jerk chicken and you didn't mix them together, the jerk chicken had so much spice to it, you almost couldn't taste the flavor of the Rasta pasta. And the Rasta pasta was good. It was creamy and good.
Yeah, I agree. My favorite. So I think I've settled on the fact that the salmon is my favorite singular dish of this event. But the mixture of the jerk chicken and the Rasta pasta was absolutely my favorite bite of this year's event. I thought the pasta was great. I thought the chicken was great. And then mixing the two of them together, I thought was absolutely fantastic.
I also really liked the mousse at Brazil. I thought it was a nice, light, refreshing treat. I'm a big fan of passion fruit. So that was one that we went back for a time or two. My mother-in-law, as well as my own mom, really like mousse. They really like passion fruit. That was definitely a top tier dessert in our family for sure.
The picana was good too. I mean, it was like a prime rib sort of cut of meat. I don't think I would go for it if I had like the pinchos nearby. I was definitely going to go for the pinchos over the picana, but also having that kind of pico with it added a nice little hot cold contrast with a little bit of additional flavor. Like I thought the picana was a really good cut of meat.
And I'm not even going to try to say the name of the cheese bread from Brazil, because I know I will butcher that, but we did try it as well. And I think my biggest critique with that one is you want to get those when they're fresh.
Piping hot.
Ours were not super fresh and piping hot, and so that cheese was not quite as, melty, creamy, all of that. So if you're trying to get those cheese bread bites from Brazil, they're ones you want fresh out.
The picanha was my favorite dish, which is surprising because red meat is typically my least favorite thing. So the fact that it beat out the chicken and the salmon blows my mind. It was so flippin' good. If other people made their meat like that, I would like meat more. And it made me so happy. I got 2 dishes. That was the only one that I got doubles of. I also love the mousse, Aubree. I don't know if I've ever had passion fruit. I don't think I have. Just as I don't eat a lot of dessert, and then I'm so limited at finding gluten-free desserts places. And I was so pleasantly surprised, and I love those little balls. I thought they reminded me of like a natural boba almost in a way. Like it just had this really interesting texture to it. It added a cool texture, I thought, to the mousse. And I also thought it was really light and refreshing. It wasn't too sweet and too much like the Butterbeer stuff that like I get done with after a couple bites. I could have had multiple mousses. Mousse, plural.
Mousse-eye.
Mices. And the cheese bread I got, it was fresh, but
nice.
It's one of a treat I get myself at the grocery store that tastes very similar to the grocery store version. So I like that they have it. It's a nice gluten-free treat for people. Cameron enjoyed eating those cheese ball breads, but those were like, they were good, not great. But I really love the picanha and the mousse.
Shout out just to Universal for all the protein options they had this year. Like we are big meat eaters in our family. I won't lie about that. And the amount of options that they had that we could keep going back to was fantastic.
That's good.
Yeah, I got the picanha twice. I loved it one time and I liked it a lot. The other time, just the second time I had a little bit more. It wasn't overcooked, but it was more on the like medium than on the like medium rare side. But I liked that dish a lot as well. I think if you got it cooked perfectly, it was absolutely knocked out of the park.
And it wasn't chewy. That's my thing with red meat, is I don't like that it's chewy.
That's the same with me.
And this one like melted in my mouth.
Yeah.
I've got to say both of these booths were, if I'd been there, they would have been quite high on my list.
Shelby, did you go back for the Rasta pasta? I know you had a subpar one. Were you able to go back for it?
It was good. I feel like it's not the flavor I was expecting it to be. I feel like I'm looking at the description now because I wanted to, jerk, vegan, coconut, curry, cream sauce. I really didn't taste the jerk too much. I tasted more curry. They don't want it to be more jerk.
Mark said it tasted like curry to him.
Right?
Like,
okay.
I don't even know.
I would agree with that as well.
I wanted more jerk flavor. Like I don't know how many. I don't know, Ben and Aubree, if you guys remember or were here for Mardi Gras during COVID, but they had a Jamaica booth then, and then they did a jerk jackfruit, and it was honestly one of the hottest things I've ever eaten. And I just want them to do that again, or give me some like at least like half that flavor. And I feel like this just didn't hit on the jerk notes for me. But I did end up trying it again, Kelly, when I went a week or two ago, and I don't know. It's good, but it could be better, in my opinion.
Okay. Should we move on to the last booths?
Yep.
That will lead me to my soapbox. The last 2 booths are Mexico, France, and Ireland. Mexico was located at Cafe La Bamba. Mexican food is typically a very gluten-friendly option for people. Universal, take note of that. France was located per usual at the Crate Stand, and Ireland was housed at the waterfront location in Hollywood. If you are missing any of your favorite team members from Finnegan's, odds are you can find them at the Ireland booth. That was fun. And at the time of recording this episode, it is widely rumored that the Ireland booth will be converted into a location effectively known as Minigans. That's funny. Featuring many menu items and drinks from the beloved restaurant while it's under refurbishment. And that aside, back to Mardi Gras, thoughts on Mexico, France, and Ireland. So, as I already alluded to, Mexico had nothing gluten-free. And if you looked at the menu items, it is bamboozling that they were not gluten-free. I did not take the risk. I did not ask. I could have. I didn't. I was leaving the day that I would have asked on a plane, and I just didn't want to take the risk that they said something to me to get me to buy the item, and then I'm sick on a plane. So I didn't hear great things, which I guess maybe it's good, but like I really wanted to try the street ceviche. I think I heard some mixed, and I think I would have liked it based on what it sounded like. That would have been right up my alley.
I just thought the street ceviche was okay. The chips that it came with were a bit overpowering compared to like all the other mix-ins. Like I wanted a little.
The chips are why it wasn't gluten-free. They picked a flavoring that wasn't gluten-free.
No,
I believe it.
Me the chips.
And like I could have honestly just been like, just give me some shrimp and some other mix-ins and some avocado in there, and I probably would have been just as happy, honestly.
So
I scream into a pillow.
But Kayla, I bought the chips from the grocery store. They don't say gluten-free, but they don't say contains wheat or contains gluten. So I'm baffled.
From my Googling, it's yeast extract, and however they're doing the yeast extract has gluten in it. And there were Googles that were like, this is not gluten safe, do not consume.
Okay.
Versus, anyway.
Okay, because the packaging does not say contains gluten or contains wheat, which it should. Fascinating.
Thanks, Ben, for telling me those weren't even good. Moving on.
Yeah.
Wait, Kayla, do I get to talk about it?
Maybe. As long as you're on the same page as Ben.
I'm on a remotely similar island to Ben. I thought this was a good dish, but calling it ceviche is a real weird.
Yeah, it was a stretch.
A real weird take because it's not. To me, it was like the little salad shrimps with taco sauce and some veggies that like it was like carrot, cucumber, and something else. It honestly just tasted like salsa to me on these seasoned chips. So I felt like it was neither a walking taco nor ceviche, but it was fine. I liked it. It was refreshing.
That was going to be my take. It was like calling it a seafood walking taco almost.
Walking taco salad light.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it tasted like when I make taco salad. That's exactly it. If I made taco salad and put the little tiny salad shrimps in it, that's what it would be. And I love ceviche, so I was also burned a little bit by this dish, but not because A, I couldn't eat it, or B, it wasn't good, but because I was expecting ceviche and did not get ceviche. So
we had the flautas. The flautas were, again, one of those batch dependent. How long had they been kind of sitting there? The first batch we got had been clearly sitting for a minute, and so they reminded me like those like tacos you used to have as kids that like you
go to the gas station.
The gas station taquitos almost.
Yeah.
The first batch we got was a little soft, but I went back because I was doing something with guest services and was like catching up with Aubree and her family after, and I got a batch, and they were straight out of the fryer, and those were really, really good.
Nice. Yeah, I liked them. I got them without the sour cream. I loved talk about sauce. I really liked that salsa verde. So did Cameron, oddly, even though it was spicy. He was like licking my plate afterwards. But yeah, I think they were fine. They were just flautas with a really good salsa verde on top.
And then the tres leches was all right. It wasn't my favorite dessert that we had during Mardi Gras. It wasn't the best tres leches cake I've ever had. If I want a really good tres leches, I'm going to go down to
strong water
and get a giant thing over there of tres leches. But it was a nice way to have a kind of a light little dessert. Not
I don't know about light, but
it's light enough. It's not 14 tries of butterbeer, so
That's fair.
but I think overall the Mexico booth was a little underwhelming for what they could have done for a Mexico booth.
Yeah. Here. Our friend Grace got the crepe and really liked it. That's been another, some people really dislike the crepe and some people have liked it.
I think that's on the brie, that brie is a very polarizing cheese.
Absolutely.
the cheese connoisseur over here.
Yeah, I love different types of cheeses. I am a fan of brie cheese. The crepe this season, I think I liked last year's duck crepe better. It had more unique flavors to it. This one just really made me feel like I'm like, all right, I'm going out and having brunch and getting ham brie and berry crepe for brunch. It wasn't anything that I felt like was spectacular for the crepe booth, and they've put together some really good crepes over the years. This one was just fine. It's not worth the 45-minute wait unless you get there first thing. I definitely would say either pass or get a different style crepe overall. And I hope that they bring more savory crepe options in for next Mardi Gras season.
We were kind of split because you didn't mind it, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
You're not a
I'm not a cheese person though, and I was like, and like you said, brie is very polarizing, and I was like, I'm all right. I had one bite, and I'm like, I'm gonna save room for other stuff. The fish and chips, mainly the fish and chips.
Any thoughts on Ireland?
I love I know fish and chips are not something that was like unique to Mardi Gras.
When you go to Universal, there's fish and chips all the time.
Whether it's the Wizarding World, they used to have them at Lombard's. Like I've had my fair share, but these fish and chips were delicious.
They were the best fish and chips we ever had at Universal.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, like we got them a number of times.
Lombard's had the top spot for a while in terms of fish and chips, and then Ireland was just like, it was one of those we almost didn't get because we were like, it's fish and chips. They've got them, and I was like, we got to try them just to try them, and it was like, wow. We went back later that night for dinner while we were waiting for the parade. I was like, give us another order of fish and chips.
They're probably my new favorite fish and chips. The only thing that would make them better is a little bit of malt vinegar, but I also understand that's not the easiest thing to keep around for Mardi Gras season to hand out. I also had we passed on the shepherd's pie, again, something that is available throughout the theme park in the Wizarding World. But I did get the beer cheese soup with the pretzel.
You gotta add the pretzel in.
It was way too good.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
It's not a thick beer cheese soup. It's very runny. So as you're dipping the pretzel in, you end up eating the pretzel way faster than the beer cheese soup. But I'll tell you what, the stare that Ben gave me when I sipped the rest of the beer cheese soup as its own, he's like, you got to be kidding me. You're an animal. And I'm like, it's delicious and it's soup. You're allowed to finish it.
Yes.
It's definitely not like the Cheese Whiz. It's
no Auntie Anne's cheese sauce you're dipping a pretzel in, but it was salty and it was good, and it kind of hit that savory spot I was looking for.
You guys talked about some things I have not heard other people talk about. So,
oh really?
Yeah.
It's one of those times where it's like, I'm not going to get beer cheese soup very often. Might as well enjoy it when you're at Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Nice. I have 2 drink notes. So while I was lukewarm on the Mexico food, the only Mardi Gras specific drink that I got this year, I got several times from the Mexico booth, and that was the Celio Rosado, and it was so good. Because I don't like super sweet tropically drinks, which is unfortunately like 80% of Mardi Gras things. But this one was tequila, mezcal, grapefruit juice, peach puree, and then it said smoked paprika and a hint of smoked sea salt. And I wasn't going to get it, but I said something about it to the people at the booth. I was like, I don't like peach very much. Like, I love a good fresh peach, but fake peach to me is like too sickly sweet and not, I don't enjoy it. And they were like, you can barely taste the peach in it. And I loved this drink, had it multiple times over the course of the time that I spent in Orlando over the last month. And then I got just one of the premium cocktails from Ireland. And so this was Sunday night. The wedding that Kayla and I went to was Saturday. And I thought that like doing the parks after an HHN night was tough, but I hit a wall Sunday night after being at a wedding the night before and was like, I need something caffeinated to keep going. And so I got just like a Jack and Coke from the Ireland booth. And I, for once in my life, was really looking forward to the Coca-Cola part of this drink.
Oh no.
I got the heaviest pour
Oh, wow.
of an alcoholic drink I have ever had in a theme park, to the point that I was like, oh no. And it tasted like Jack Daniels with a floater of Coke on top
Wow.
instead of the opposite.
Oh, no.
To the point that I had like, we were all sitting, we'd gotten another drink, and we had crashed out on these benches at that point. And I had like a quarter of my drink, and I walked up and I was like, can I please have a little bit more Coca-Cola? She laughed hysterically. She's like, that's the first time anyone's ever asked. And I was like, well, this is the first time I've ordered a Jack and Coke for the Coca-Cola and not the Jack. And she was like, understood, and filled my cup up a little bit more.
Wow.
But I really needed caffeine in that moment.
Mhm.
And after she gave me an extra shot of Coca-Cola, I was good to go. But I was laughing hysterically because I was like, this is the one time I would get a drink that is too strong when I was looking for the caffeine instead.
Typical.
All right. Well, wrapping up this year's event, I want to bring the tribute store and parade into the conversation, along with the seasonal overlays of entertainment like the Beat Builders. Thoughts on these things? Did anyone get to ride on a float or experience anything else unique this year, or try any of the treats at Today Cafe or Croissant Main?
I thought the tribute store was one of the best Mardi Gras tribute stores that they've done in a while. Because that tribute store, like usually I'm a little apprehensive about that location based off how previous tribute stores have gone in that Hollywood area. I thought they crushed the tribute store. Like
Absolutely.
the glow paint is awesome, and all the little Easter eggs from HHN, like super fun.
It looked amazing.
Not only, sorry, Tracy.
No, I just said it looked amazing.
Not only, I agree, I think it was one of the best Mardi Gras. I think it was easily the best of that location.
Mm-hmm.
And now they can't tell me they can't do that location. There can't be another bad one because they can do it anyway.
Let's put HHN there.
Is that where the Jurassic Park tribute store was a couple years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, I thought that one was really great, but I'm a massive Jurassic Park fan, so I might have been.
No, that one was cool too, Kelly.
That was
Okay.
cool.
It was. I went in the tribute store twice, and I never go in the tribute store. So I feel like that's saying something. That middle hallway looks like it's like being in an HHN house for like 10 steps.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And it
Amazing.
smells like it. It smells like
Mhm.
HHN.
At the
Yeah.
beginning of the season, it definitely had the
Yeah.
smell. It
Yeah.
has faded over time.
I think when I walked in, I took by myself, took the biggest oh my God, HHN, and said my body just did it without me controlling it. And anyway.
I loved all the Easter eggs too of the Magdal mead and
Yes.
the funny labels on the bottles, whether they were universal references or just funny gags, what was it, Northern Depression instead of Southern Comfort or something like that. That it was just, it rewarded you for exploring and lingering and loitering, and thought it was cool.
Yeah, and Kelly showed me that you could open up the refrigerator, open up the grill, and there was hidden stuff. That was so cool. Yay. The only other thing I got to see, I missed a lot of Mardi Gras this year. I saw the Beat Builders, and I saw a man twerking like you would not believe. And you would never see this at Disney. And I was so proud of Universal for this moment and for allowing this masterpiece to exist in my world.
So that was a beat builder who was twerking, not a guest.
It was a Beat Builder.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Do you know?
We've ridden the floats a couple of times, and very similar to years past. Always a great kind of way to celebrate Mardi Gras. And we did it with both of our families, and it was a great way to kind of have them experience Mardi Gras for their first times with my parents and Aubree's parents. Super fun to be able to throw beads off the floats.
We did the ride and dine with both our parents, and
Nice.
although not cheap to sign up for. It definitely is a nice little treat. We went out to Cowfish with Ben's parents and did the 3-course meal for all of us. And then we went to Lombard's with my parents. And I'll tell you what, we don't go to Lombard's very often because that place adds up. But to be able to do that for the ride and dining and each of us get a 3-course meal there, that was the way to go. I don't really want to let that secret out, but that was the way to go to get your meals worth at Lombard's.
And I got to shout out the Universal team because I made a big oopsie when booking the ride and dine for my parents. They came in February, and I booked our ride and dine for March.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And I was like,
it was supposed to be like February 13th, and he booked March 13th.
But God bless the Universal team members that I was able to go to guest services and be like, hey, I made an oopsie. Is there any way we can fix it? Because I had called in and they're like, we can't do anything like based off what we can see for availability. And so just being able to go into guest services, kind of tell them like, I made a big oopsie, and they were like, let me see what I can do for you. They spent, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes.
They got us on the float.
And they got us on the float. They're like, hey, got you on the float. We're just concerned about the reservations. And we book the reservations just so that we can make sure that we get the time slots that work for us. And like, they're like, great, cool, here you go, and go. But the team members were great to be able to sort out my issue on that day. So definitely shout out to the team members.
Amazing.
Shelby, you liked the dessert from today?
Yeah, the cookie butter custard.
Yeah.
It's really good. And the top, the like little toppers they put on them are different. So there's like a little crown that I saw on another dessert the other day when I was there, and it wasn't on the vegan dessert, oddly, but it's a cookie. And then the little like Mardi Gras mask, the masquerade mask, is chocolate. So
nice.
The chocolate one is amazing. I wish they would give us more chocolate things. We don't get a lot of those. So yeah, it was really good.
I did have, this is backtracking a little bit, but Shelby, you made me think that triggered a memory as far as allergen service. When I went to the Jamaica booth, I could eat the jerk chicken, but I had to modify it by getting no bread. So the dish itself, like the chicken, did not need to be modified in any way. I just said no bread. And the team member who looked at my receipt called out no bread, and someone said, is it an allergy? And I said, yes. And she said, well, then I can't make it. We have to call the chef, which I don't mind. I don't mind waiting if it means that I know my food is going to be prepared safely.
Yeah.
But the chef went like above and beyond, like came over, asked me for my specific allergies, made my food, and then called out for it. And the team member tried to take it from the chef to give to me. And she was like, no, it's an allergy. I'm going to hand it to her. And so even that like simple little extra step of, I know I was asking her to go out of her way. She was asking the team member to go out of their I felt very taken care of and safe in that moment. And so just again, another example of how far Universal, there's ways to go for sure, but how far things have come in the last like 20 years when I was, and again, refused service in multiple occasions. And so this was that was a cool, like even like everybody followed protocol to the best of their ability. And so it was a good experience on that end. So if you are listening and feel like you're wanting to take that leap of faith to try new things or things like that, like I think you really should, because they're really starting to take it seriously.
As they should.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so many people with allergies and different ones. They're taking it seriously like they should. So
Yep. Good Mardi Gras this year.
I loved it. Yeah. It was really, really good food. My least favorite thing was still good. So I can't say that for years past.
Yeah, that's saying a lot.
Keep those cool cook machine things. That's all I want. Next year I got to see them back out, and I'm like, yeah.
I need to get back out from Mardi Gras. I think it's 7 years since we were there.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Far too long. So I need to get back out.
Okay. Well, I want to kick off dessert announcing our next podcast giveaway. I guess it's new too. When Kelly and Kayla visited last month, they picked up a little exclusive Mardi Gras merch item, and we would love to send that to one of you delightful listeners. There are lots of ways to enter. If you have visited Universal during Mardi Gras, please send us your top 3 items, food or beverage, via an email, Facebook message, or Instagram message. If you haven't visited, what would have been your top 3 priorities? Send those to us via any of those same platforms, and stay tuned for all the specific ways to contact us.
And that is going to do it for episode 28 of the Taste of Universal podcast. Ben and Aubree, it has been an absolute blast having you join us in this episode. We knew you were the right people to come on.
Thanks for having us.
I hope we haven't scared you too much. That's all I'll say.
No, we'll be back. We'll be back.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
We were more tamed than normal.
Yeah, this is pretty tame.
Yeah. The next one will be unhinged. It's fine. Would you guys, we'd love for you to plug all of your platforms, your accounts, whatever you've got. Plug it here, please.
Yeah. Absolutely. You can find us on YouTube. Primarily, that's our bread and butter at Fudge Factor. And I guess the second biggest is Instagram at Fudge_Factor.
Yes. And I follow both of them.
Follow us and subscribe.
Yes. I was just going to say, I listen to both of them. They're awesome. If you don't subscribe and follow them, I'll be round to find out why.
I agree with Tracy.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't follow very many vloggers, and I follow you guys. I'm not just saying that.
Yeah, that's the same. I mean, it's a running joke that I do not listen to any podcasts, including my own. I just don't have time, but I always make time. As soon as anything of yours drops, I'm there watching it, because it's just entertaining, and it's just like watching Friends, which it is. It's watching Friends, just have fun. And your content resonates with so many people. It's so accessible, and thank you for it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And I need to share, I passed you once at HHN, and it didn't make sense for me to say hi. And and I always think of it when you guys were in UUOP, and now in this entire episode, I'm like, I have to tell them that we grazed shoulders. And I was like, I want to say hi, but we're off to go to the houses, or maybe Ben was going to see a show for the 100th time.
He was probably going to see the show.
I was probably crying. You were probably dragging me behind you. So.
It's too much going on. All right. To our beloved listeners, we love hearing from you. You can find the podcast on all the usual podcast platforms, and please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you can. Find us on Facebook at Taste of Universal, on Instagram at Taste of Universal Podcast, and follow Shelby on Instagram at Universal Orlando Vegans. You can email all your questions and comments to thetasteofuniversal@gmail.com.
And check out all of the other podcasts in the UUOP network. Please like, subscribe, and rate them all. For weekly news and Universal content, tune in to our network hosts, the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
The rest of the team includes Rush of Fear for year-round Halloween Horror Nights content, Theme Park Duo for coverage of everything West Coast, Port Key Passport for adult-centric Disney discussions, the unofficial Universal Great Britain podcast for information on the upcoming Bedford Park, Big Dumb Stuff, a podcast covering a whole range of themed entertainment, and the newest member of the team, Theme Park Throwdown, a weekly debate podcast pitting Disney and Universal against each other in a battle royale.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Taste of Universal, and our next episode will be out on May 8th, and we promise to finally cover the park-wide menu overhauls. So keep an eye on our socials for more details, and until then, thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to tip your server.